Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Also, be sure to check out my affiliates down below so you can get discounts on different car mods and products. Alrighty, let's get into the review. Hello and welcome. Today we are reviewing a 2023 Hyundai IONIQ 5. This is a limited trim, the top trim level, with all-wheel drive. I would like to thank Hyundai of Newport in Newport, Rhode Island, for allowing me to both review and test drive this vehicle. They just moved into a new dealership location right down the road, and it's a much larger and more updated facility. Make sure to check them out in the link below. Alrighty, so this Hyundai IONIQ 5 is finished in blue with a black leather interior, and currently stickers around $58,000. This IONIQ 5 is the first of multiple electric vehicles from Hyundai using this naming platform, such as the IONIQ 6 and more models to come. This is a two-row SUV with seating for 5. It comes in with a gross weight of around 5,600 pounds. This one comes with the upgraded engine option, dual electric motors making 320 horsepower and 446 pound-feet of torque. It has a driving range of 266 miles. This IONIQ 5 and all models currently use the same 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery pack. This is mated with a single-speed direct drive transmission. This is again an all-wheel drive model, achieving 110, 87, and 98 mpge. The IONIQ 5 rides on 20-inch alloy wheels with 255 wide tires all around. This EV has a towing capacity of 2,300 pounds. As for safety, you get blind spot monitoring, forward collision alert with auto emergency braking with pedestrian avoidance, rear cross traffic alert, lane departure alert with lane keep assist, auto high beams, and an overhead airbag. So, this Hyundai IONIQ 5 came out in the 2022 model year, and it definitely looks unique from all other cars on the road. It competes with the Tesla Model Y and the Ford Mach-E. The special angles of this car and its clad silver plating make it stand far apart, but in a weird and good way. This design so far has been well liked, but it's also a pretty strange car design overall. This comes with a battery warranty of 10 years or 100,000 miles, and a basic warranty of 5 years or 60,000 miles. This Hyundai measures in at 182.5 inches long, 74.4 inches wide without the mirrors, and is 63 inches tall. It comes with 6.1 inches of ground clearance. For cargo capacity, you get 27.2 cubic feet with all seats in place. This rides on four-wheel independent suspension, and it also does have heated side mirrors. You get LED lights around, and I have a lot to talk about with those, so especially those rectangular headlights up front. So I think they look awesome on their own and like nothing else on the road. They look really, a lot of this car carries like a pixelated concept, as you'll see in the details on the interior later, and it carries like a video game concept. And it looks like a video game car in a lot of different ways. The rear LEDs especially look like an old video game in flashing pixelated patterns. It looks really awesome in my opinion, and we will discuss some more in just a moment. And let's have a step outside and discuss the exterior. Alright, so here on the outside of the IONIQ 5, here are those front rectangular headlights. These things look awesome. They look so like chiseled. They look like honestly like a Lego brick, like a kid's toy. They look so cool. And then all throughout here it has that pixelated sharp pattern. As you can see, this has a lot of sharp angles across the board. Here it has a front camera up there, but of course no grille. This is just an electric motor under here. Over here are some unexpected lines. Right here, the other Hyundai electric vehicle I drove was a Hyundai Kona EV in the past, and that one had some of this like silver-clad, nickel-clad type of accenting right there. And then over there, it does continue with a lot of that right there, as well as through here on the side. Here it has more like, almost like vents right here, like slatted slate, like slats of opening right here, but really it's just a body design. Additionally right here, you get one diagonal line, which is really interesting. No cars do this diagonal type of line right here, but I think it looks good here. And then of course we gotta talk about these wheels. These are gonna be two-tone wheels right here. Most IONIQ 5s have similar to these wheels. There are a couple of other options, but yeah, they look really good. 255 wide tires, nothing too bad. And with all-wheel drive, of course this can hook. And then in the back here of the IONIQ 5, here's going to be your light bar. So this is actually one of the most interesting spots on the car. I personally like the back of the IONIQ 5 a lot better than the front. The front's okay, it's not bad, but I like the back especially. It's so iconic. Look at this. Iconic, IONIQ, you know, it rhymes. So over here, these are going to be your lights. As you can see on screen, I'll put some with them showing. This looks like a 1980s retro video game. It's so cool. And then down below here, it's a similar spot to the front in the patterning. It does come to a little bit of a point down there with some chrome. And then over here, you get a lot more of that like silver cladding right here. I think it looks really, really cool. Over here is actually going to be your charge port. So if you were to open it up like so, this is where you charge the IONIQ 5. Once again, more pixels. It's so present throughout here, but they did it in a tasteful way. I like that theme. And then here you get that crossover, modern crossover type of piece right here. You get good spoiler right there, but it's such a hard angle. It's like a Toyota BZ4X also had something like that. So yeah, a lot of EVs are going for this like angular retro route, but this does it the best by far, in my opinion, on the market. And it does, of course, come with the very interesting, as always, EV door handles. So over here is your lock or unlock, and then you open it like so. And when the car is off, those will close. But it will approach you with, when you have the key in your pocket. And over here, I think, is one of the coolest angles of the car. Just looking at this, this looks so cool. This looks like a concept car. It's really, really awesome, in my opinion, based on the looks. And the front is nothing to scoff at. It looks really good up here too. But I like the back a little bit more. Up here, I love the lights, but it's not that it's too rounded, but I don't know. It's a little bit too simplistic up here, in my opinion. I think they could have done just a little bit more with the angles of the hood, maybe, and such, and the front bumper to make it just a little bit more interesting. But overall, I think they did a good job on the looks there as well. And stepping inside the IONIQ 5, one thing you notice right when you get in here, on the side here, you have this little pad to the left of your steering wheel. This is going to be magnetic. This is very weird, very, very interesting. And I guess Hyundai supposes that maybe you want to put magnets here. That's really all it's good for. It does have a magnetic pad. And yeah, it's very random, very unexpected, but I think it's really cool. You could put magnets here and, make it more like a little home in here, make it designed well. Pretty random. Up here, of course, you do get a head-up display, as you can see right there. Here's your cutout for that. And then the steering wheel is pretty unique as well. So it doesn't have a Hyundai logo. There is no IONIQ logo. IONIQ is kind of a sub-brand of Hyundai, but not really quite a brand on their own yet. And so it continues with 4 pixelated patterns. So the pixelated pattern continues a lot throughout here. Here is your steering wheel itself. It's leather wrapped, has a couple nice bolsters, and a lot of gloss black, which I don't really like. I personally don't like gloss black because it collects too much dust and fingerprints, but yeah, it's used tastefully enough here. It's not too bad. And then here's going to be your drive mode button. This looks pretty interesting, like straight out of like an exotic sports cars where they have these for like starter buttons right here, but they did it for drive mode. So you get normal, sport, and eco. And then of course for your gauge cluster in here, it's going to be very, very weird. Not bad, just very, very weird. This whole car is pretty unique and interesting in all aspects. Like, look at this. This is, I don't know what it looks like. It looks like you're inside a video game right here with a couple bank channels next to you. I don't know, like your barriers of where you can drive. It's very cool. It's going to be a fully digital gauge cluster. It's going to be a nice white background, pretty crisp and clean. And of course, throughout here, you can scroll through all your different options. So there are a lot of different things you can put here. Also, your shifter here is very weird. So right here, it's actually a turnstock, similar to like a Mercedes or a Tesla, but it doesn't follow any of those. So it actually goes like this. If you twist, like so, I am now in drive. If you pull down 1, you're in neutral. And if you pull all the way back, you're in reverse, where you can see your camera. Very good quality camera, which is pleasant surprise. A lot of brands cheap out on cameras. Hyundai did not. And then right here, if you tap it in, similar to other brands at least with this, you push it and you're in park. And now you are in park. And the auto emergency brake, of course, will engage. So yeah, it's a very quirky interior. Also, you get a 12.3-inch infotainment screen. It's pretty wide. It's not the tallest, but it is very, very, well done. It's Hyundai's infotainmight system, a more common one, and it's a little more modernized here with a nice white background. I think it looks really nice. Very good quick responses. Easy to scroll even, which is really nice along a road map, which is something a lot of them shortfall on, so that's very nice. You can also access inside of here, you can do your, you have both heated and cooled seats in here, and you can do a lot of different stuff. So that's pretty good. And it's pretty simple to access. I would prefer maybe some hard buttons as well, just because down here, although it's a nice interior, it's a little minimal. I know minimal is good. I don't hate minimal, but I think having to go into an infotainment system to control your screen, or in this case, your heated steering wheel as well, I don't really think that's the best idea. But it is pretty well done. I like the infotainment system overall. For the rest of the interior up here, it's for material choice on the doors is very nice. It's going to be all padded, and right here you have Your little pixelated spot continues right through there. Your handle's actually all back here. It's actually all cut out if you can't see where I'm grabbing. So it's a nice little touch. And for your door handle here, it's not bad. It's pretty decent feeling. It's plastic, but it does feel pretty well made, so that's good. Here, this is more common of different Hyundai models. They have this silver spot for all of your door controls. Not bad. You also do get a Bose sound system down there. And around all the speakers in here, you actually do get LED RGB type of, you also do get an LED ring around those. So those are really nice. As for the center part of the interior, up here it's actually going to be good material choice. This is soft touch material. It's a leatherette type of material. Over here is going to be hard plastic, but it gives it some texture. Up here is actually soft touch material as well, which is good. This is the only hard plastic, which surrounds the head-up display. So nothing too bad right there. For your visors, you of course get a vanity mirror. You do have a light here. You can actually control when it's on or off. That's an interesting spot to put it. And then over here, it does slide, does cover the whole window, so that is good. Does pass the coveted visor test. Then you do get your gigantic panoramic sunroof. This is one piece of glass. A lot of the time they have a separation right there, but this is actually going to be one panel. So nothing too bad at all right there. And then for your seats themselves, they have a pretty good bolstering both in the thighs and the back actually. And of course, like I said, they are going to be both heated and ventilated. And they do carry on that little pixelated pattern. As you can see, it runs through here and up the back of the seat and even over here. So Hyundai and their IONIQ sub-brand, they definitely do like this pixelated pattern of this IONIQ 5. This is the first model that came in it, and yeah, I think it is very good. Down here, it does look a bit cheap, in my opinion. Here is just going to be hard plastic. You get a 12-volt charger and a USB port, and then, I don't know, I guess you could put a drink here, but really it's more just a storage pouch. But that's the only thing that does look pretty cheap about over here because it's right next to your foot. I know it's near a foot, you're not going to pad it well, but I wish they could have just used a little bit better material choice right there. It seems a little off from the rest of this. Then here you have a bit of an interesting thing. So first up here, this is a little bit of a different feel than the rest of the interior. This like rubber leather material, this is just a different one than most of this interior right here. It matches closer to the seats, but it's really its own material. It does feel pretty good in hand though. And then here you get a little bit of storage in here, nothing too bad. You get all your ports are actually going to be down here in this case, and you do get a Qi wireless charger, which is nice, right down here. And another thing of this little bit interesting center console spot is if you pull a lever up here, you can actually slide it back and forth. So you can have more of a center large storage spot right here, or you can just have it up here so you have more of a comfort for your arm. So that's a nice little touch. I haven't really seen any of these that slide yet, so I do like that. And then for your visibility up here, the windowsill, it's pretty good. A-pillar is moderately thin, protrudes a little bit more, but overall it's okay. And then, yeah, overall visibility is pretty good up here. Maybe a bit of a low roof line is the only thing. This does come down a little bit more than I was expecting. Just towards, if you're looking out, you feel like you're a little high up here, but I do have the seat up pretty high. So if you come down a little bit, it is more appropriate right there. So overall, for up front up here, I think it's a very nice iteration of a minimal interior. It's definitely new, doesn't look like anything else on the road, but neither does the rest of this car, so I think it works pretty well. And you do get a great variation of material choice up here in colors. I do like that. It's a lot better than other vehicles. One little gripe I have actually though is this positioning of the climate control vents. Because over here in the center, a lot of them use them about here. They're fine to reach your face. Over in the passenger is fine to reach your face. But over here in the driver, due to this magnetic little panel right here, you have to have your climate control vent down very low. And although it can reach up to your face, it's blocked a lot. It's blocked a lot by this, of course, your turn stock and then your wheel. And it doesn't really reach you as well. I wish maybe they had put it up over here or something, or just more central ones, because this one down here, it's very low and it's tough to get to right there. All right, so here in the back seat of the Hyundai IONIQ 5, the seats are reclining back here with a lever, so that's very nice. Here's your panoramic sunroof, of course, lets in a lot of great light. It's a pretty good room back here, actually. I'm tall, I'm 6 feet tall, long legs. And it's pretty comfortable up here, at least in terms of headroom. For legroom, it's not all that great, but this is a smaller SUV. It does have an okay spot. I left the seat where I was. My knees are just starting to touch, but really it's comfortable if I sit just a little bit spread out like that. It's perfect. You do get window shades back here, so that's nice. And then for your window sill, it is pretty good back here. It doesn't feel claustrophobic. It's a big wide window back here. Very similar material choice to the front, continues that pixel pattern. And you also get a little bit of like a denim material right here, denim or fabric, in the back of the seats. That mimics just that small patch up on the driver's steering wheel. In the center here, you do get 2 USB Type-A ports, and you get a little bit of storage right there. And you do get a little bit of storage right there. Also, in terms of climate vents, you actually don't get them right here, but you do get them here on the on one of the pillars. So these are your climate vents for the rear passengers. You get one on each side, so don't worry, it's not lacking anything right there. And for the seats back here, they're pretty comfortable. They do lack a little bit of bolstering. I feel like they could be a little bit more in both the thigh and the back because this is an electric car, and some people, will be whipping these things around. But overall, I think it's pretty good back here. And back here in the front, for my final thoughts on this Hyundai IONIQ 5 Limited all-wheel drive, I think this is awesome based on the looks. I love this thing. Most especially, I like the back. The front is good too. The side is good, but I really love the back of this thing. It looks so cool. It looks like a car straight out of a video game from the 80s. But on the inside as well, it's very, very unique, very weird and funky in a good way, as is all of this car. I love their subtlety, but also the high presence of this pixel material and the pixel design, because they really integrated it just about everywhere in this car. But you really have to start to look to notice. And I think that's a, very good sign of good design. And overall, your steering wheel is pretty cool. It does have a little bit of a flat bottom here, so I like that. It definitely sits apart there. You have a great infotainment screen, a lot of safety features, very interesting shifter, that's for sure, something to remember. And then a lot of just innovative use of space. Over here they have, of course, a bin. This whole thing slides, which is awesome. It's a bit, non-traditional, that's for sure. That's one good way to describe this IONIQ 5. But I think really inside is nice. A great choice of materials, very good fit and finish. And it's minimal, but it has everything you need. I do wish it had a few more controls, maybe in hard buttons. I like minimal interiors, but this is almost too minimal, in my opinion, in certain aspects. But otherwise, I think it does a very good job. It's similar to a BMW i3 back in the day. It was a similar type of vehicle where it took a funky retro vibe and they modernized it and kept it, with modern safety features of the time and all that type of stuff. And I think they did a great iteration here with Hyundai. At $58,000 for only 266-ish miles of range, I think it's a little bit low on that end. That's the only reason I wouldn't always recommend this car. But even a higher range EV these days, electric vehicle, here in early 2023, I would say that that's appropriate. There are a couple that are getting better, but the 300-mile crest is not really being hit or gone beyond quite yet. So I think it's a pretty good setup, actually. I think it's pretty fair also, around, especially in the lower trims, nearing $40,000. I think it's very fair because you get a very, very nice interior in here, a lot of safety features, and of course a striking appearance. So overall, I think it's a very cool car. And I will not be test driving this one today, but I will be test driving one at some point soon. So be sure to check that out, coming out soon on the channel. I would once again like to thank Hyundai of Newport in Newport, Rhode Island for allowing me to review this vehicle. Their link is down below. As always, drive with passion. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.